Coach on the road once again, take your youngsters behind the scenes with the MLB stars of the game. And I got the man here for the White Sox, MT. How we doing?
Good, doing good.
We're taking our youngsters behind the scenes of what it's like being a major league ball player. And you got a little longevity going for you in the big league. So what's the key for you and staying around this long?
You just keep showing up every day, trying to get better. That's half the battle, showing up. The other half's taking care of yourself, and you're on the field and keep showing up and give yourself a chance.
Well, you must be pretty good too now.
I mean, I do some things well. I try to play to my strengths more than anything else. Remember the things that I do well, and try not to get too up or too down.
A lot of guys watch you guys and they think you guys get drafted, you in the big leagues the next day. They don't understand the dues you got to pay to get here.
Yeah, I mean, it took me 4 seasons in the minor leagues. A lot of sacrifice, a lot of hard work, not just in season, off season too. So, it's really hard. I'm extremely grateful for the opportunities I've been given. I'm still extremely grateful for the opportunity that I'm given today. So, try not to lose sight of that.
You say it took 4 seasons in the minor leagues. You kind of came up back in that old minor league day. Torrey Hunter told me about them peanut butter jelly days. You know anything about that?
Yeah, man. I mean, Pop-Tarts were my secret weapon for a couple years there, and couple frosted strawberry Pop-Tarts and go get them.
No, people think y'all eating steak and lobster and all that in the minor leagues.
Not in the bushes back in the day, man. Maybe today, I don't know.
So, what was the minor league days like? Motel 6s, long bus rides. Take us back on that experience.
Yeah, long bus rides, but all you had was your day at the field. I played in some small towns, and you get really close with your teammates. I wouldn't call it like a trauma bond or anything like that, but long bus rides, games that day, early flights, stuff like that. Like that was, but you had to get tough, or it kind of eat you alive. So, but I loved it, and I think it helped make me the player that I am.
I used to coach high school, college baseball. On the road with the guys, there was a whole lot of comical stuff that even today I reflect back and laugh about some of the things went on. You think about them days?
Yeah, definitely. Most of the guys that I, still catch up with, it's guys that I came up with, because it's like we went through that together, kind of year after year, and, we were young and, finding our way, and, like sometimes I'll think about something and text a guy, and I'm like, remember, I just did it the other day, something crazy from back in the day. I'm like, hey, you remember when this happened? He's like, what made you think of that? And I was like, I don't know, man. It's just, you just think of it because, you go through a lot with these guys.
You guys didn't have no hotel rooms, did you?
No.
I had some of them. And, again, coach college ball, high school baseball, and I scouted for 5 major league teams. Mm-hmm. And it's always about getting the scouts' attention. What did you do to get on the scouts' radar? My dad's favorite players were always the guys that, they played hard, they ran the bases hard, they played defense hard, and so he kind of, instilled in me that it's like hitting's really hard, and there's days where, you might not get anything to hit, or you might, hit the ball on the button a couple times and hit it right at guys, or, it just might not be your day at the plate, but it doesn't mean you can't impact the game in other ways. So, that was kind of always my mindset growing up, was like, especially on defense, it's like, if I'm not going to get any hits today, I'm not going to let anybody get any hits today. So, that's something that I still believe in, is that you can have the biggest impact on the game on a day you might not get any hits. You can have the biggest play in a game on a day you might not get any hits, and I believe that with all of my heart. So, that's how I try to play the game. So speaking of being a fan of the game and growing up, who were some of the players that you idolized along the way as a kid? Well, as a kid, I mean, I still remember, the summer of '98, being from Chicago, like calling my buddies on the house telephone, like Sammy just hit 61, he just hit 62, he just, whatever. And so the Mark McGuire Sammy, so his thing was awesome. Being a left-handed hitter, and, I pitched a lot when I was a kid. So, like, pitching-wise, it was like Randy Johnson. Like, he was the lefty, and just intimidating and great stuff and threw hard. And then, at the plate, it was I knew I wasn't going to play infield from a young age, so it was Ken Griffey Jr. playing center field, and his left-handed swing and how beautiful it was. So that's kind of the guys that I looked up to as a player, and were really fun to watch for me. And it's still like those guys. I'm like, yeah, those were the guys that I loved.
Do you find yourself out there emulating them guys sometime?
If I could emulate Ken Griffey Jr., I'd do it a lot more often. I tell you that. If I could take that swing a couple times a day, yeah, I would.
All right, let me ask you these last questions. I mean, when you got to the big leagues, did you get a chance to meet some of these guys that you watched on TV?
Met a couple guys, yeah. I got a chance to meet Ken Griffey Jr. really briefly one time, and that was probably one of the few times that I was pretty starstruck. But I mean, there were guys though too, like that. It was like watching them play for the first time when I got to the big leagues. That was like, that was really. They did some things that were really impressive that I'd never seen before. That was awesome. Like I can remember the first time watching Joey Votto take at bats. From the dugout it was just so impressive. Like the control that he had and stuff like that. And it's like, for me, I'm watching all like the best left-handed hitters, like, and how they do things, and so kind of getting to play against some of those guys too was really special.
So between me and you and the 3 million fans out there watching, you go ask any of these guys for their autographs since you've been in the big leagues?
I have some things. I have some cool stuff. Still try to take advantage of it when I can, but. I have some cool things in the basement, yeah.
In the basement?
In the basement,
the basement. Hit away.
Yeah.
All right, last question. Now, I asked you this question when you was with the Cubs. You probably don't remember. Every kid dream of playing in the big leagues. Get that call, you're going to the big leagues, walking that locker room for the very first time, see your uniform hanging up. What was that feeling like?
No special. I got called up at 1 in the morning in Fresno after an extra inning game. So I'm calling everybody back home at 3 in the morning, and I like calling my wife, calling my dad, calling my grandfather. They're really special for me. So, those are feelings that I will never forget.
Did you cry?
Oh yeah.
You
yeah.
probably admitted it.
Oh yeah.
Most guys don't want to admit they cry.
I did.
Mama cry?
Oh yeah.
We know Mama cry. Coach on the road with the man Mike Tauchman.
Yeah,
Appreciate it. Take care.